this isn't a program that is very important to a lot of Americans. And some have, as you said, have found it worth shutting down the government over. And so if it is a priority of Congress, then Congress should make sure that it doesn't increase our federal deficit even further. So we've got a lot of ideas about how to do this. I think, one thing that I've been really intrigued by is the lack of discussion on how to moderate the size of the subsidies. There's just a real dearth of discussion. It feels very black and white. It's like we extend these enhanced subsidies or we don't extend them. And there's a lot of gray area in between. You could shrink the size of the subsidies in order to moderate the cost. So for example, we've looked at some proposals that would sort of move that line back where it's really hard to explain, but if you imagine that the line of the amount of income that people, the percentage of their income that people have to pay as their income rises, goes up and up and up. You can move that line so that it's between the line for the enhanced subsidies and the original subsidies. And that would mean that people at more moderate to higher incomes would pay more than they're paying under the enhanced subsidies, but would pay less than they would pay, under the original subsidies. There's a middle ground there. And so we would encourage Congress first to look for ways to shrink the size of the subsidies to something that is tenable but can be paid for.